It's a cyber sandwich of Unitrends and spanning. So just to introduce myself, my name is Jervis. I've been in the industry over 20 years, ultimately. Worked for Nortel Networks, Semantics, Veritas for 10 years. I've been an end user as well, so I have empathy with end users, and I've worked for vendors, and I've worked within the MSP market. So I tend to think that I bring experience to the subject that we're talking about today. Now, what we're going to cover today, in brief, because there's about probably, I think, 15 slides. It's going to be fairly brief, but we're going to introduce you to spanning. We're going to talk about some of the challenges relating to backup and some of the misunderstandings within 365 Google Workspace as well, and just talk to you, briefly about how we can help you protect your data regardless of where it resides. So the first thing I'm going to say is that Spanning is a company which is part of the Kaseya portfolio. So Kaseya is our parent company. We have lots of products with our portfolio. Spanning is one of those products. Spanning was founded in 2010. So it focuses on SaaS platforms, protecting SaaS data. And interestingly enough, it was owned by EMC for a brief period of time until we purchased it off EMC. So we've got lots of users. It's a product that's built for SaaS, and it is a very simple to use product as well, which is really key if you're talking about SaaS protection. Unitrends has been around since 1989. So we were one of the first appliance-based backup products within the market. And we've got obviously over 30,000 customers. We protected operating systems such as Skull Unix back in the day. We still have support for HP UX and Solaris. But our focus now really is that Wintel and hypervisor-based platform. So VMware, Hyper-V, Nutanix, etc., and being able to protect those workloads, test them. And we have our own cloud as well, which is really important because we like to talk about that end-to-end experience that our customers get and how we reduce the operational overhead and reduce costs as well associated with protecting their data. So as you can see from the slide, we've got over 100 petabytes of data in our cloud. So we are a big player. We have clouds presence in the UK, Dublin, Germany, Australia, multiple in the US, and Canada, example. We don't have anything in the Middle East yet, but we do actively work with lots of customers in the Middle East as well. Now, we're at a cybersecurity event, and we know for a fact that ransomware is a real concern for many, many of our customers. And what we are saying, essentially, is that employees are the target. So most of the actual attacks are, delivered through phishing attacks. And we, as a company, we like to think that, we're able to help our customers address that entry, that vector. And ultimately, ransomware as well avoids detection. So this really talks to something which one of the customers here came to our stand earlier on and spoke to us about, which is not obvious, but it is something, once you think about it, is really very key. That when you have a backup solution, if you're backing up data that has malware in it and you're going to recover, if you're not aware that the backup solution has malware and you're going through a recovery process, you're just going to restore malware back into your environment. You're going to be back at square one again. So you need to have a solution really that's going to help you detect malware and address that issue so you don't get into that, that loop of having to do multiple restores to find a clean recovery point. And one of the things we'll talk about briefly as well is the fact that cyber insurance is a key requirement nowadays where customers are having to stage the recovery process to enable them to claim on their cyber insurance. And we'll talk about that as well briefly in terms of how we help with that. We know backups are under attack. So a lot of backup products out there are Windows-based. We offer a Linux-based platform, so we're not the low-hanging fruit in terms of being attacked. So we know backups are under attack because other vendors are actually feeling the brunt of that. They are actually being compromised because hackers are attacking the backup solutions as well at the same time to ensure that they cannot recover and they have to pay the ransomware. So we're helping our customers in that area as well because we're Linux-based, their platforms are hardened, and we've got a very great story around that. Another challenge that our customers see, or the market sees, is fragmentation. And fragmentation is where you have multiple products in your stack that make up your backup solution. It could be software-based, could be hardware as well, and it could be storage that makes up the backup solution. So you're managing multiple point solutions, which introduces costs and management, which is a challenge. So that talks to fragmentation. And if you're using a product that doesn't have its own cloud, that's another level of fragmentation as well. So with the Unitrends product, as you will see, we provide a stack where it's end-to-end. Customers have a single experience, they have a single contract, and we're reducing that operational overhead and reducing their costs as well because it's simpler to manage. The time-consuming part, that also comes into the backup fragmentation part as well because it can be time-consuming to monitor, but if you have a fragmented infrastructure, you're having to monitor multiple points of your infrastructure. The retention, the storage, the compute, all that kind of stuff has to be monitored and troubleshooted. Lastly, all those 2 points before, add up to cost. Expensive, becomes inflexible. So, we try and help our customers to understand that, right? So that they can reduce the costs, have a simpler life, and have, really some assurance in their solution. So, Unitrends, we focus really on local backups, off-site recovery, SaaS platforms, and we have a couple of game changers as well within our portfolio that kind of differentiates us from our competition. But on the top line, you can see that we have appliances, we have virtual appliances that can be consumed, and we have an endpoint solution as well that allows our customers to protect their endpoint. So when you think about your data could be anywhere. It could be in a data center, it could be on an endpoint, which is remote, individuals working from home, or it could be in the public cloud. So you want a solution that's going to be able to protect that data regardless of where it resides. And that's what we offer with our stack. Part of the business continuity as well is that 3-2-1 rule. Being able to create 3 copies of your backup, 2 on different media, 1 copy off-site. We do that with our solution. It's all built in, but we can leverage the public cloud if required as well. So if you have a contract with AWS and you want to store data in AWS, you can do that with our solution. You don't have to use our cloud, but our cloud has no egress or ingress charges. Whereas with public clouds, there are additional costs that you have to consider. And when you consume our cloud, we can provide disaster recovery services, which is really powerful because for those individuals who manage a data center but don't have a secondary data center, what do you do for disaster recovery? How do you facilitate for that? So with the Unitrends, we can actually give you disaster recovery in our cloud as a service, and it's a white glove service, which basically means we do the heavy lifting. You call us, and we will spin up your workloads in our cloud and hand over your service to you so you can actually run and continue running your business. And we have a failback process as well to give your data back and get you back up and running back in your own data center once you've done all the necessaries. And our SaaS-based platforms, which protects 365 Google Workspace, is again a cloud-based platform. So we back up, as an example, 365. We store the data in AWS, and we give you the ability to manage the encryption keys as well yourself. So the data is secure, it's secure in transit, and we also provide self-service as well to allow you to scale, which is really important as well. So Salesforce, again, that's another SaaS platform that we offer protection for. And all this stuff is managed through a single pane of glass as well, which is really important. So we have this saying, the time between, and what we mean by that is that when the customers have multiple products, they have to switch between multiple interfaces. With our solution, you have a single pane of glass, which basically reduces the time spent between maneuvering between different products. So we're trying to kind of increase the let's say, utilization of your time when using our products as opposed to having wasted time switching between products, right? So that's one of our mantras as well, reducing that wasted time, the switching between different platforms. The 3 game changers down at the bottom of the slide, zero recovery assurance, that's all about automated testing. We're going to talk about that. We'll show you what that looks like. Zero failed backups, Helix. Helix is designed, and this works with our Unitrends appliance, is designed to find errors in the backup process and remediate them before the backup runs, so you have successful backups. So the typical one we always talk about is for Windows-based platforms, you may have VSS issues. And a VSS issue may cause your backups to fail, right? So Helix will go and find VSS issues within your infrastructure, remediate them, so the actual backup that's going to take place is going to run successfully. And then we have Backup IQ, which is really about providing intelligent alerts in a single UI around the actual, any alerting that may occur as a result of failures or missed backups, etc. So we're being proactive, but this is all managed through a single pane of glass. Now, just to touch on our SaaS platform very briefly, it's cloud to cloud. It's simple, it's subscription-based. We have enterprise-level security, so our data is resided in, I'm going to be quick. This always goes fast. So this is, unlimited storage and retention. Vendor responsibility for SaaS products, that's the vendor's responsibility. For us, or you're responsible for remediating against human mistakes, etc. So we give you the capabilities to restore. When you're looking at a SaaS product, look to make sure that you're not using privileged accounts as well. We use all the appropriate APIs, and we allow for 2FA, multi-factor authentications. I'm going to rush through this. We have, for the SaaS-based products as well, phishing defense and dark web monitoring. So it also helps us to differentiate ourselves from our competition, because with the dark web monitoring, we're going to look at your Office 365 credentials, we're going to go to the dark web, scour the dark web. If we find compromised credentials, we're going to alert you within our solution that a user has compromised credentials, so you don't get that account takeover scenario. I'm going to quickly rush through this. These are our appliances for the Unitrends solution. So we provide different models for on-premise appliances where you can actually back up locally and replicate to the cloud. This is our model where we want to protect your data locally with that 3-2-1 rule. We have a hardened Linux platform, basically, so it's not Windows-based. Recovery assurance is our testing process, which is orchestrated, which allows you to test your backups automatically. We have AI built into our appliances that's going to detect ransomware and alert you. And then we've got instant recovery that really does allow you to recover very quickly. That's our stack. On the left-hand side, or that's if you was to build the stack yourself, you'd have to use all those different components. With us, you just consume an appliance and a cloud, and you're fully protected. We've got lots of operating systems that we protect. That's recovery assurance, which is orchestrated.